welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. So today we're going to continue on with doing like Valentine's Day inspired looks for the month of February. And I pulled out this palette in which I bought a long time ago. And it looks like this. Let me hold these brushes in. And it's called Pink Corolle. Pink Corolle, I think. I don't know. The number is 859. Yeah, 859. And I bought this, I don't know when I purchased this, but when I looked at it, I thought Valentine's Day in a soft way, like in a everyday wearable way, I guess, in a sense. So let's get started. The first shade we're going to go into is this light pink shade right here. And I actually have two of these palettes that I thought Valentine's Day with, and I may use the other one still yet. I don't know yet. Depends on how I feel. To be honest, I came down with a stomach bug, and it's getting the best of me, y'all. It is getting the best of me. I really don't understand how I keep getting sick. Or is it the same virus that I just haven't gotten rid of it? That could be. But I really like these 5-pan palettes. I only own like 3 of them. But I do think that they are very usable and beginner friendly. And they do build in pigment. Like, you're not going to get pigment like straight up off the bat. You know, you're going to have to build it. But for a beginner, that's wonderful. Or for an everyday look, you know, I feel like that's what you want. At least that's what I want, you know. Something quick, easy, I don't know, fuss over, you know. And it just blends so nice. And the gradient effect in them are nice. Now, some of them, I'll admit, don't make sense to me. They may make sense to others, but to me, they don't. But the ones I personally own, I feel like they do make sense to me, so therefore I can use them. And we're going to ignore the hair because, you see, it's been raining. I don't know where it came from. Like, all day, non-stop, pouring down rain. To the point where they even had to cancel the schools because of flooding. They closed, well, they didn't cancel, they just sent them home an hour early, but you know. So, that's been fun. But, I mean, you can see it. It is there. But again, you could build it, you can. But it's just a soft pink, you know. I think it's a pretty color, you know, for blending or even starting out your transition shade, maybe even. But it's not something, I don't feel like it would show up on a lot of skin tones, unfortunately. But I do think, or if it did, it may be chalky. I don't really know. But I will say that these shadows, the way they like work together is the key to this palette, I think. Okay, so let's go into this pinker shade. I don't know, it's not really a hot pink, but it is pink for sure. And I just really, I forgot, like I said, about this palette. And that's what happens when your collection gets too big. Well, it's not really a collection, it's an obsession. When your obsession gets out of hand, this is what happens. You forget about all the amazing things you already have. And I did forget about this. But I was actually looking for something else when I spotted this. Oh, I got a straight hair there. There we go. When I was looking for something else, I ran across the 2 palettes that I have that reminded me of Valentine's Day. I feel like this one is a more everyday Valentine's Day type of look, a sophisticated almost type of Valentine's Day look. It's like it's got the coloring for it, but yet not so in your face type of Valentine's Day look. You know what I mean? And I just love the way these colors go together. I really do. And you don't have to be scared of them because they just blend and work so easily. We're going to take this same hot pink shade and we're going to go along the lower lash line. And you can be messy. That's the other fun part, like with these shadows. You can be so messy and it ain't going to matter. Like, it will turn out looking nice. So we'll take that same shade and we're going to run it along the lower lash line. Put a little bit of pink down there. And I don't feel like these shades would make you look sick either. You know what I mean? These pinks. Now, I could be wrong depending on like skin tone and that sort of stuff, but I just don't feel like they would. I've actually been running across a lot of my like older makeup that I had forgotten about, and I usually do that, especially like when I'm looking for certain things, like I'm looking for Valentine's Day palettes and stuff like that, or looks inspired by it, and that's when I tend to run across stuff the most. Okay. Now we're going to go into the darkest shade here, this purpley shade. And again, it looks dark, and it is, but it just blends so nicely that you just don't have to be scared of it at all. And that's what I like about palettes, is when you don't have to be scared of it. Because I'm not a makeup artist, so there's, you know, I can't correct things if I mess up. And it's like the color combinations and stuff, when you start getting these bigger palettes, it's harder for me to narrow out color stories. You know, what's going to look good together type of thing. But with these little 5 pans, it kind of does it for you in a sense. Like, you will be able to figure it out, you know. And you can create several different looks. Now, will your looks kind of be the same? Yeah, and they will be, you know, for the most part. But that doesn't mean you can't, you know, do it. And for traveling purposes, I think they'd be great. Because they're just small and compact, so they'd fit very easily. So if it's just a weekend trip, you know, you could take one of these and be okay. If you're going for a little while, you know, you might want a bigger palette because longer to create looks and stuff. But this palette here is one of my favorites from them, to be honest. But at the same time, I haven't tried that many out. I won't, you know, say that I have. I've had 3, but out of all 3 of them, I do like them all, but this is one of my favorites out of them. That, and because, like, when you think of Dior, you really don't think of bright colored looks, really, you know? Like, I don't think of them and think, oh, pink, yes, they've got the best pink eyeshadow You know what I mean? Like, that's not how I think of them. Now, if I'm thinking like, um, neutrals or something, or classic even, then I'm thinking about them in that aspect. Okay, I think I got both eyes the same. We can always touch up in a little bit, but let's go ahead into this shade right here, which is beautiful. And it lays on my eye so nicely. So if you have lids that have got a lot of creasing in them, or just aging lids like myself, then you know what I'm talking about here. But it lays, and you just need the littlest bit of it, really. Like, I only dipped in one time, and it pretty much did my whole eye. And look at the shine. Like, look at that. Like, I am going to build it up a little bit more, because, like, I want to be seen. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, you can keep it on the lighter side, so you don't have to be seen, obviously. And it's just beautiful. And I do think you could make this a day to night palette. Like, you could easily just do the light pink, and maybe even soften out the brighter pink, and then maybe put the shade that I'm getting ready to put on my inner corner on the lid. Let's put that on this one here, the middle shade. I'm gonna put on the inner corner here, and it just gives a little bit of oomph right there. Like, none of these shadows or none of the palettes I have from Dior are like over the top by no means, you know what I mean? But I still think they're beautiful. Are they worth the price tag? I don't know about that one now. That one would be a up to you type of situation, you know? Because I do know they're pricey. Without a doubt, they're pricey. Just touching that up right there. Okay. Back into the hotter pink shade. And like I said, it's a lot of back and forth, back and forth. But, well, it's not a lot, really, not really. I lied on that one. Because these colors do mesh so well together that you really don't have a lot of back and forth. But you do have a little bit, nonetheless. Okay, and then in with that lighter pink. Because I do think that every shade has a reason in this particular palette. And they may in every palette, but in this one I feel like it does. Now we're going to take that dark purple shade that I used for the outer corner, this one here, and we're just going to stamp it along the top lash line and the bottom lash line. Oh, partly poke myself in the eye to hide any mascara mistakes I may make, and partly to make it look like I have more volume on my lashes that I really don't. I don't have volume. I barely have lashes, y'all. And I really feel like if I didn't use the Grande serum, I'd have 0 lashes. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I don't know if that's the best serum or not, because it's, you know, well, no, I tried one other one, Lash Food, I think maybe it was called. Oh, and the other one, Ordinary. Now, out of those, though, I do think that Grande is better, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. If you have success out of the other ones, that's great. Especially the Ordinary, considering it's way, way, way more affordable. I was hoping that would have worked for me so bad, because, man, wouldn't it be nice? Because that Grande lash is expensive, y'all. Alright, now we're going to curl the lashes. And then you guys are not going to believe I found something. It was still in a box. I have no idea if it's good. And I probably shouldn't have used it, since I have no idea. But I thought, well, it's still in the box, which means I hadn't opened it, right? So technically, it should still be good, right? I mean, if it's not opened, then the time frame of however long, 6 months, should be in effect. So, what is it, you ask? It is the Marc Jacobs Primer. I know, right? How old is this thing? But I like it because A, it's not white. It's more of a skin tone color. And I do think it did a little something to my lashes, to be honest, too. And I'll tell you why in a minute when I go to apply the mascara that I'm about to use. And I'm even going to pop a little bit of it on my bottom lashes to try to keep them being unruly. I don't think it worked as well on the bottom, I won't lie. Especially on the other side, but on this side, like on my top lashes, I really do think that it did something. And it could just be in my head, I won't deny that. Because I'm finding a lot of things are just in my head. It's like, oh, yeah, that's supposed to be good, so obviously it works for me. And I got too much right there, but we can get that off. But yeah, that's kind of where I've been at lately with stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I see it working, but it's in my head, because at the end of the day, it's not working when I'm looking at pictures or when I'm like asking people, you know, they don't see a difference, so therefore it might not be working, you know. And of course nobody knows my face better than me, considering I'm staring at it. But some things I feel like, well, people would notice, you know. Alright. I think I got all the clumps off of that. I did not mean to do that at all. I find it so funny that this is actually like my better eye when it comes to mascara, but it's the hardest one to do because I'm like reaching over and trying to get to it. I don't know. Could just be a me problem. And then for lipstick, I'm actually wearing the Dior Rogue Dior 434. It's the little mini one. This is a really pretty color. And I had paired it with the Natasha Denona Julia lip liner, and it sort of gives like an ombre type thing, almost like the lips are contoured when you pair it with this shade of lipstick. And I like it too. I think it makes it look really good. I'm hoping the eyes are the same, because I can't tell yet until the mascara. The hair, I know the hair, it's killing me too. So back to mascara. I'm going to use the Dior Iconic Overcurl. Now I used this the other day, and I threw it away because I was like, either it's old, something's up, because what was all the fuss about with this mascara? Because I didn't think it was all that great. But then I got this, but now I did pair it with a primer today. So, but I'm pretty sure I used a primer when I used this, but it was the Lancome primer. I'm just seeing if that's right. Okay, it is good. Because I don't want to apply it if it's still wet. Okay. I always kind of let the primer dry. So I'm going to apply this. Now this is a new tube of it. I thought I was going to have to buy one, but I actually had a backup of it, thank goodness. And like I said today, I do have this primer on, but I just don't feel like it made that big of a difference, you know? So, but it could have, I guess. But regardless, I like it nonetheless. I'm really getting into the base. Okay. And then taking it up. Oh, I didn't know there was a cat in here. Cuckoo. She's been really quiet. It's amazing. Usually if the cats get locked in here while I'm doing this, they get mad. I still don't see what all the fuss is about with this mascara, but I will say that it's definitely better this time around than the last time. And I am so sorry if you can hear all these trucks. You wouldn't think there'd be that many people out on a rainy day like today, but apparently there's a lot of people out. Because I've been hearing these trucks now for hours upon hours upon hours. I'm like, there's just not going to be a good time to film, so I'm just going to have to do it. I'm using the Lancome, of course, on the bottom lashes. And I will say the primer didn't do too much for the bottom lashes, like I said earlier. I could have lived technically without putting it there, but lessons are learned along the process. And that will definitely have to be brushed out, but all is well. Like I said, you play, you learn. It's all about learning. And I've had a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn, to be honest. But that's kind of the fun in it too. Like, obviously I have fun doing my makeup, but I have fun learning about stuff too. At the end of the day, I'm still going to do whatever I want, you know. I like learning the techniques and like the whys of it all, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't work for me, that's fine, or if I just don't like it, that's fine, because I'm the one that has to wear it, you know. So if you like something, you just wear it, because you're the one that has to. So you might as well. Okay. Didn't get any at the top, which which is a good thing. But I did get a little bit in the corner on the bottom lash line, which I will get in just a second. But I do want to put one more coat on the top lashes. Just one more. And I'm not feeling like I'm getting any flaking off of this or transfer. Hasn't happened either, which is a good thing. Okay. But I do see, I do feel like these are pushed up more than the last time I used it. So I do feel like that. I still think the curl, what is it, the Benefit Curler Lash, is that what it's called? Does a better job at that though, but that's just my opinion. I have to play with this some more. It's been a long time, and I mean, everybody talked about it back in the day, so I feel like it has to be somewhat good, you know? A little bit right there. But overall, I think it did really good. And up a little bit. Okay, so that's the final look using that palette and a Valentine's Day inspired look. I'm also wearing the Dior 01 paint blush, obviously. I mean, you gotta wear that for Valentine's Day, right? And then I actually also pulled out the Dior Warm Bronze bronzer today, and that's what I'm wearing. And I forgot how much I liked it too. I forget. It's awful, isn't it? I know. But the final look overall, like I said, I think it screams Valentine's Day, but in a more not in your face, everyday type of way. Because I would wear this any day of the week. It wouldn't matter to me. And I don't think it would be like wrong month. You know what I mean? Like go home, wrong month. So but that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped in some way. I know I gotta get these videos down, stop rambling and talking and stuff, so I will work on that, and I will see you in the next one. If you did like this video though, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all that, we're notified when I upload. I upload every day but Sunday, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care, stay safe and healthy.